Internal Revenue Service IRS Tax News. Dirty Dozen Part 1. Taxpayers should be on the lookout for these scams. COVID Tax Tip 2020-96, August 4th, 2020. All tax scams put taxpayers at risk. This is the first of two tips taking a closer look at the IRS Dirty Dozen. There's a link to the Dirty Dozen here. Tax scam list. This year, taxpayers should be especially watchful for aggressive schemes related to COVID-19 relief, including economic impact payments. Here's a recap of the first 6 scams in this year's Dirty Dozen. We have phishing. Phishing is always going to be one of the top items for the scammers out there. And there's a link to phishing as well. There's a link to all of these items so you can get more information on them. Taxpayers should be alert to potential fake emails or websites looking to steal personal information. The IRS will never initiate contact with taxpayers through email about a tax bill, refund, or economic impact payment. Don't click on links claiming to be from the IRS. Be wary of emails and websites. They may be nothing more than scams to steal personal information. So phishing is going to be them trying to get personal information. Typically, they're going to have an email or something like that. They may be imitating with the email. They might have a link to an imitation of like the IRS website, trying to mimic what the IRS website would look like so that they can then gather information that they can then use for further information gathering possibly, or for some type of scam or theft. Therefore, you don't, when you get the email or any kind of a text message or anything like that, you don't want to click on anything on the email, because then you could download some type of malware or something that could track your what you're doing and possibly pick up your passwords. And if you have any concerns about them, then you want to contact the IRS directly. So go to the IRS website directly about it. But typically, again, if you get a email or a text message, that's not how the IRS will typically call or contact. They're going to contact typically by mail. So, but if you want to check into those things, don't go into the links into the email or to any website that's on the email. Go to the website directly at irs.gov and check out your personal information from there. And if you have to call the IRS, then you can do that again from the IRS website, not from any contact information that would be on the email. Then we have the fake charities. Criminals frequently target natural disasters and other situations such as COVID-19 by setting up fake charities to steal from well-intended people trying to help in times of need. Fraudulent schemes normally start with unsolicited contact by phone, text, social media, email, or in person, using a variety of tactics. So notice you have the fake charities, which is going to be, collecting money that they're going to say is going to go to a particular item such as COVID-19. And then, of course, they're playing on the sympathies of people during a crisis to basically pick up money. And they might use kind of social pressure or whatnot to basically be asking people in front of crowds or what, to get more payments at that time. So when you think about the charities and, just say, I'd rather do my research on, I usually would say, I'd rather do my research on the charities. If you give me your information, maybe I'll look into it further and I'll give you money at a later time. And that's it. So, but any of the charities that you look into, whenever you give money, you do want to look into the credentials of the charity, make sure they're a charitable organization, and then you can go further and look into the quality of the charitable organization, how much of their money is, for example, actually going to the charity that they're looking into versus other types of things, or how efficiently are they run in terms of the money that's going to charity versus just running the organization, and so on and so forth. So back to the text. Threatening impersonator phone calls. IRS impersonation scams come in many forms. A common one remains fake threatening phone calls from a criminal claiming to be with the IRS. The agency will never threaten a taxpayer or surprise them with a demand for immediate payment. Scam phone calls include those threatening arrest, deportation, or license revocation if the victim doesn't pay a fake tax bill. So any kind of threatening information on the phone call, the IRS is a bureaucratic agency. They don't typically do that. They're going to send you like a letter, and then you're going to send a letter back, and then they'll send you another letter, and then they'll basically, if they're going to take collection action, process a lien or something like that. But you're typically going to be well advised in advance when IRS is making their move. So if you get a phone call and it says, give us money now, or we're going to send someone over tomorrow, or something like that. If something like that happens, then that's, it's not going to be the IRS. And even if you get a phone call like that and you're feeling like, well, maybe this is legitimate, again, I would just say, hey, I'm going to contact the IRS directly and just make sure this is legitimate, and then just hang up on them, right? Don't talk to them anymore, and then go directly to the IRS website to verify any kind of concerns you would have from the source, starting at irs.gov. Back to the text. Social media scams. Taxpayers need to protect themselves against social media scams, which frequently use events such as COVID-19 to try tracking people. Social media enables anyone to share information with anyone else on the internet. Scammers use this information as ammunition for a wide variety of scams. These include emails where scammers impersonate someone's family, friend, or coworkers. So when you got the social media, obviously everything you're putting out there on the social media can kind of be picked up by anybody else. And then when you do get this phishing email or something like that, they can try to impersonate them as if they're in your social group, or as if the email is coming from someone you know, or use your information to send to others mimicking you as social proof of whatever contact they're doing. So back to the text. Economic impact payment for refund theft. This year, criminals turned their attention to stealing economic impact payments. Many of these scams are identity theft related. Criminals file false tax returns or supply false information to the IRS to divert refunds to wrong addresses or bank accounts. So the economic impact payment was a huge thing that the IRS is putting out to try to get the money out as soon as possible. And of course, in doing so, that's going to be a place where scammers are going to try to pick up the economic impact payment information as well. So senior fraud. Senior citizens, their friends, and family need to be on alert for tax scams targeting older taxpayers. Their growing comfort with technology, including social media, gives scammers another means of taking advantage of them. Phishing scams linked to COVID-19 have been a major threat this year. Seniors should be on alert for a continuing surge of fake emails, text messages, websites, and social media attempts to steal personal information. So, unfortunately, seniors are a target of these types of scams as well. So there'll be a link to these items in the description. There's a link to each of these for more detail if you would like to look at them on here, and there'll be a link to this in the description.